movie begins on a plane with a mysterious box being transported in the cargo hold. While flying, the plane hit a storm, causing violent turbulences. The shaking broke the straps holding the cargo, and the box fell, injuring a guard's leg. The experiment box also broke open, and its subject escaped. However, the subject couldn't remember anything and kept seeing strange images in her mind. Hearing the commotion, the guards rushed to the scene. As soon as the woman appeared, one guard opened fire, but he accidentally hit the electrical box instead, cutting off the plane's communication. Confused, the woman begged the guard not to shoot. The guard pretended to agree, but when the woman raised her hands and came out, he opened fire at her. Thinking it was over, the guard began reloading, but suddenly, the woman disappeared. Before he could react, she reappeared as a zombie and attacked him. Meanwhile, the passengers in the cabin were unaware of the unfolding disaster. The plane began shaking again due to turbulence. Dr. Bennett, the owner of the experiment box, grew nervous and sent the co-pilot and 2 assistants to check the cargo hold. There, they found the electrical box damaged and the experiment box empty. The subject had already escaped. Before they could leave, a zombie attacked, killing both assistants. Only the co-pilot survived and ran back to Dr. Bennett, demanding to know what was in the box.
What have you done?
The co-pilot informed the captain and urged him to land at the nearest airport. Unfortunately, there was no airport nearby, so they had to turn back. The captain called Judd from the TSA for help. Judd questioned Dr. Bennett about the cargo, but Bennett refused to share any details, claiming confidentiality. Frustrated, Judd and his colleague Burroughs decided to investigate the cargo hold themselves and only found bloodstains on the ground. Noticing an open ventilation duct, they decided to split up and search inside. Judd crawled into the duct, but soon came face to face with a zombie. Terrified, he fired his gun, alarming Burroughs, who returned to the cargo hold. While Burroughs called out to Judd, another zombie attacked him. Judd arrived just in time to help, but accidentally fired another shot, which went through the floor and hit a flight attendant in the cabin above. This caused panic among the passengers. Judd put away his gun and used his hands to fight the zombie, and finally managed to kill it. A flight attendant tried to report the situation in the cabin to the captain, but didn't notice a zombie sneaking up behind her. The zombie bit her neck, and her screams forced the captain to send the co-pilot to check it out. The co-pilot saw the zombie dragging the flight attendant and quickly shot it before closing the cargo door. Passengers, alarmed by the gunfire, gathered near the cargo door as the co-pilot locked it tightly. They thought they had contained the zombies, but they underestimated them. In the restroom, a girl was attacked by a zombie hiding behind the mirror. Her boyfriend rushed to help, but when he opened the door, the girl was gone. Suddenly, she appeared as a zombie and attacked a nearby passenger. Luckily, the plane's sudden climb sent the zombies sliding back into the cargo hold. However, no one realized that being bitten meant getting infected. Meanwhile, the co-pilot was locking the cabin door when the bitten flight attendant mutated into a zombie and bit him. Passengers heard the commotion and ran to check, only to find more zombies coming their way. Dr. Bennett panicked and ran to the cockpit door for safety. As chaos broke out, one of the passengers fell, and while looking for his glasses, a zombie's hand grabbed him from beneath the floor and dragged him in. Billy approached the cockpit and demanded answers from Dr. Bennett. Suddenly, a zombie appeared behind Bennett, but Billy acted fast, knocking it down the stairs with a stick. Zombies began pouring into the cabin through the broken hole on the floor. Billy went downstairs, grabbed the co-pilot's pistol, and prepared to fight. Just then, the cargo door opened, startling Billy. Luckily, Judd and Burroughs emerged from it. They told Billy to find a safe spot while they dealt with the zombies. By now, part of the cabin was entirely overrun with zombies. An unaware stewardess almost stepped forward to help, but froze in fear as the zombies surrounded her. Thankfully, a male passenger saved her just in time. While escaping, they encountered a bitten nun, but it was too late to save her, so they kept running and eventually found Judd and Burroughs. The situation worsened as more passengers became infected and the number of zombies kept growing. The survivors blocked a passage with supplies, armed themselves with pistols, and stood guard. On the other side, discovered a ventilation pipe and decided to crawl through it. While crawling, Billy questioned Dr. Bennett about the experiment. Bennett explained he was only following orders and didn't expect it to mutate into a monster. Suddenly, the plane dived, shaking violently. A woman in the group fell into the zombie-filled cabin and was dragged away. Dr. Bennett also fell into a horde of zombies. The zombies were thrilled to see fresh food and attacked him. Only Billy and his wife managed to survive and reunite with Judd and the others. Meanwhile, the captain heard the co-pilot calling for help. Without knowing the co-pilot had been bitten, he opened the cockpit door. A zombie slipped in along with him. The captain struggled to close the door, and when he turned around, the co-pilot had already mutated. The remaining survivors realized they couldn't wait for the plane to land. They tried to contact the cockpit, unaware the captain was already dead and the plane was on autopilot. They decided to head to the cockpit, but were running out of bullets. To make it safely, they needed the weapons left behind in the cargo hold. Burroughs quickly made a bomb, threw it into the cargo bay, and cleared most of the zombies with an explosion. He retrieved the weapons from the cargo bay and returned. Just then, they saw a fighter jet outside. At first, they thought it had come to rescue them, but the fighter jet was there to destroy the plane because ground control had lost contact and suspected the virus had leaked. The orders were to confirm there were no survivors before launching the missiles. If no response came in 3 minutes, the fighter jet would bomb the plane. The survivors were running out of time. Luckily, one passenger knew how to fly a plane. They decided to fight through the zombies to the cockpit to send a distress signal. Billy and his wife were bitten during the fight. Knowing their fate, they decided to stay behind to block the zombies and protect the others. The couple was cornered near the hatch and chose to open it, sacrificing themselves and dragging the zombies out with them. Meanwhile, Burroughs and the remaining survivors reached the cockpit and tried to radio for help. But before they could, the fighter jet launched its missiles. The plane was hit, blowing a large hole in the cabin. Many zombies were sucked out, flying through the air. Some even hit the fighter jet, causing it to crash. The damaged airplane rapidly descended, but managed to break through the clouds. Fortunately, they landed the plane safely in the desert. Only 4 survivors made it out alive. However, the nightmare wasn't over. A few zombies had also survived and were seen walking toward a nearby city.